John Anderson has been clutch in the past. He has missed 3 field goals in this game. Pickett, right, knocked down beautifully by Fred Shavies. Oh, he knew where that pass was going. And this is the man that Mike Price says is the leader of our defense.
Well, you know, he is the leader. Last year, though, Steve, Apple Cup pregame warm-ups, Fred Shavies runs through the Huskies stretching. I imagine there was a few obscenities being shouted too, but he ends up challenging the Huskies, and they ended up waxing the Cougars last year in the Apple Cup. This is the play, you could say play of the game, obviously, 3rd and goal. You take a shot at the end zone here. You got 2 wides high, actually 3 wides high, 2 left.
Pickett loops it. Incomplete. Paul Arnold had it in his hands, and Jeremy Bohannon knocked it out.
Steve, this is not an easy kick. This is on the left hash mark. This is not in the middle of the field. Take a look. Paul Arnold, Bohannon punches the ball out. Yeah, he should have had it, but Bohannon ends up punching it with his left hand.
Rams, this man, John Anderson, has had 2 game-winning field goals in his career. One with seconds left against USC, and last year to beat Arizona State. This from 27 for the tie.
I know
It is good. And this game is tied at 20 with 15 seconds to go. 15 seconds for overtime. 15 incredible seconds for Mike Price and Washington State. John Anderson, despite missing 3 field goals, clutch with seconds remaining. Second half, Washington State troubles. The fumble by Jason Gesser, the fumble by Mike Bush, the injury to Jason Gesser that knocked him out of the game, and the interception that led to the game-tying field goal by Nate Robinson.
You know, and actually John Anderson, look at Mike Price walking up the sideline. John Anderson actually missed 4 field goals tonight. The one he got bailed out on with the roughing the kicker. So I counted as a miss 4, make 2 type of thing.
Well, this is the first meeting between these teams. The very first meeting between these 2 teams ended in a 5-5 tie, and here we are 102 years later.
You're looking pretty good for 102, brother.
Yes.
I got to tell you, to have it come down to the kicker, though, who's missed that many, you got, and it was not an easy kick. Close in, left hash mark. He's pushed 2 on the right side tonight. He was able to come down and make the kick. And you know what? That showed me a lot about John Anderson, because obviously he's resilient. Rick Neuhauser says, hey, I want my Huskies to finish strong. That's been his mantra all week. And right now, you know, it's up to the young guy, Matt Kegel. Can he get it done? Because Matt Kegel will have an opportunity here. They'll probably just take a knee, is my guess. And OT is going to be Kegel against Pickett.
How about a long return? They fly through. And this is Washington State bringing it out to the 32-yard line with 10 seconds remaining.
Tim Galloway, number 35, inside linebacker, reserve backer, and special team stalwart tonight, making the tackle on Moore.
So Matt Kegel, who has been unable to get Washington State any points when they've started in their own territory after replacing the All-American candidate Jason Gesser.
Better get lined up. That's what you better do.
And he will run the football, like you said, to Tippins, and they will just run it out, and we are going to overtime in the 2002 Apple Cup with Washington unranked against the number 3 team in the nation, Washington State, without their great quarterback, the Heisman candidate Jason Gesser. Cody Pickett with a marvelous 92-yard drive to pull them within 3, and then execution down the end to get the 3 points. Because Neuheisel said in overtime, we've got the edge because we have the veteran quarterback against a guy who hasn't thrown the football even 40 times this year. Jason Gesser out. Damaged right leg. And if he could walk, he would be out there.
Yeah, he would.
So now the teammates picking up Matt Kegel because he has some big moments here. Let's refresh your overtime rules. The teams alternate possessions as they start on the opponent's 25-yard line. 2-point conversion must be tried beginning with the third overtime. The first team leading after completed round wins.
And they'll go out for a coin toss right now. And you know, so many teams, kind of the going-ons in overtimes has been, if you win the toss, you're allowed to play defense first.
Remember,
that's
now,
really what everyone's done.
Toss, there's no defer. It's offense, defense, or you can pick what end of the field you want to play in. So there's no deferment. Got it? And each team has one timeout. That's it. Even though you had some left at the end of the game, you only get one timeout per series. All right, here we go. Let's go, Paul. Heads or tails?
Huh?
Heads or tails?
Tails.
He wants a tail.
Tails a tail. Tails a
go.
go.
It's a head. Washington State group won the toss. You want to play defense.
They want to play defense.
Which goal? Which end of the field do you want to play in? Go that way. Okay.
There you have it.
Washington State won the toss and is elected to play defense. Washington is on offense and has decided to play at that end of the field.
You know what I love? I love our cameraman, Judd Mazer, man. Look at him go. He gets in the action. Fox Sports Net, you are there, buddy. You're right there.
We'll come back with the overtime, tied at 20 in Pullman. And they have completely shut down. Washington has the Washington State offense.
Yep.
For 40 minutes, they didn't score.
Yep.
The last time they got into the end zone was the 10:07 mark, the Cougars, until the field goal. And on that field goal, they went -4 in the drive. Remember, they had a first and goal at the 2. Now Pickett with a first down. Cody fires. Reggie Williams with the catch. Only gains 3, but that is catch number 12 for Reggie Williams and number 89 for Reggie this year.
Steve, in the big rival games, and you know, the Huskies have taken some criticism this year. They haven't had the season they wanted. Mike Price and the Cougars on the other side, of course, they've had a nice season, but it comes down, you play your rival game, it goes into OT. I mean, the state of Washington should be proud, #1, because these are two great teams slugging it out. Man, the difference between, you know, the winner and loser each week is very small differential. You got one timeout.
Washington's timeout.
That's their last timeout.
Good use of a timeout there by Cody Pickett.
And I know Rick Neuheisel was very proud that his team did not quit. They had been through.
You know, Saragusa, I watched him dance. I mean, for a real big guy,
He's good.
he got some moves. The Goose got some moves, but then that one time he was back east in like Baltimore, and they had him uplinked, and he was on the show, and he had that funky hat. Looked like he borrowed a hat from Michael Irvin. It was a funky hat. He didn't look good in the hat.
We'll have to check out Tony tomorrow morning on the net. Right now it is 2nd down and 5 for Cody Pickett, who has thrown for 367 yards in this game. Clement will be his lone setback, and they'll split 2 left, 1 right.
Don't forget about Ryan Long, number 88, defensive lineman.
Williams single coverage, and I wonder if Cody's checking off because Reggie has single coverage. He looks that way. The blitz is on. Pickett is sacked at the 22. Mauli Davis. Williams could not free himself from Trufant.
Mauli Davis has just played stellar again. Right, that middle linebacker spot, Steve. Watch him come in. It's just an 8-gap blitz, and it's a little bit of a delayed blitz, but he's got such great speed. Watch him, number 58, and boy, he runs well. That's big, because now you got to get inside the 5 to get a first down.
Blitz is on. Cody rolls away from pressure, flips it, incomplete. They will have to try for 3.
Well, this is why so many teams elect on the coin flip to take defense first, because now you know if John Anderson does put it through the uprights, you know what you have to beat. You got to get a field goal to tie, but if you score 6, you win the game and you go home.
Anderson has missed from 50, 51, and 34 in this game.
And he
has
missed.
made from 35 and 27.
Well, and
this will be from 34.
And the roughing the kicker was about this distance as well.
Anderson has it up.
Good.
And he nails it. Missed his first three, made his last three, and in overtime, the Huskies have a 23-20 lead. And now the Cougars must try and keep the pace with, again, Matt Kegel taking over for Jason Gesser. And how will Washington defend? Put more heat on Kegel?
No, I think what's going to happen, Steve, I think Tim Hundley, the defensive coordinator for Washington, knows that Washington State's going to try and run the ball here. And I think you've got to stack the box and stop them from running the football. You got to make Kegel beat you. If someone's going to beat you, it's not going to be Tippins, and it's not going to be Jermaine Green. It's going to be Kegel, number 4, because he hadn't thrown a ball yet. He hadn't thrown a good ball yet.
He only needs one.
That's all you need.
He started shotgun, and he'll stay in shotgun.
Illegal motion by the Cougars. They back up 5. Fit Chappell, the right tackle, moved.
That is 10 penalties now for Washington State, and Mike Price cannot afford this.
Offense. 5
no
yards
mistakes. Now they're backing up to the 30. This would make it a 47-yard field goal, even though it's first down.
Steve, it comes back to what you got on your board. Composure. You know, Mike Price said, be composed. Ever since Matt Kegel came in, they've shot themselves in the foot. They've jumped off sides. They false started. They haven't adjusted to the young quarterback's cadence. They haven't his inflection and everything else.
They bring pressure. Kegel goes deep. Broken up in the corner of the end zone, intended for Mike Bush. And there's the true freshman, Nate Robinson, whose dad, Jacques Robinson, was a great Husky. The executive producer of Fox Sports Net is Bill Borson. The coordinating producers of College Football Saturday are Roy Hamilton and Gary Garcia. Today's game produced by Dennis Kirkpatrick, directed by Doug Freeman. The College Football Saturday studio show produced by Loy Maxon, directed by Joe Woitis. Senior Vice President of Field Operations, Andrea Berry. Director of Field Operations is Debbie Kilmartin. Our ace in the tape room is Mark Wiedemann. It is second down and 15. Kegel.
Steve, here you go. Okay.
Not working.
Not working. Now, you got to get a positive. You got to pick up 10 yards here. You've got to get to the 25-yard line. You're not going to get a first down at 3rd and 16. You're not going to get this. Pick up 10, because you got to give Drew Dunning a look at the field goal. And I'm hoping for you're looking, if you're Washington State, you're hoping for a field goal to tie it up, so you don't go home a loser here. You got to get him a little closer.
DeVar Darling, right side. Kegel over the middle. Bieneman. They do get about 7 back. Now this will make it a field goal of some 42 yards by Drew Dunning. His long this year has been 49, so it is well within his distance, but he still has to make it to send it to the second overtime.
Now it'll be 42 yards and about 6 inches. He'll line it up right off that hash, and here it is for the game for the Huskies, at least to stay in the game.
Henderson to hold. It is up. It is good, and we will go to the second overtime in the Apple Cup.
Well, you wouldn't want to end it in the first overtime. You got to play a couple overtimes, right, Sluggo? Here we go. Man, that's nails right there, though. That's a big kick, because they did nothing on offense again. Nothing.
This is what I love. Marcus Trufant coming over to talk with his coach, Mike Price. He knows he might be the most important defender on the field, having to cover Reggie Williams.
Hey, Steve, on Washington State's 2 scoring drives with Matt Kegel, negative yardage. That's really not a good start.
For those of you watching on Fox Sports Net Northwest, your Kings, that's Fox Sports Net West, your Kings are coming up next. For those of you watching Fox Sports Net Southwest, your Stars are coming up next. There's Drew Dunning, who just hit the 42-yard field goal to tie this game at 23. Washington State only has 6 points since early in the second quarter. And as you said, Rams, both field goals came on negative yardage drives.
To play at that end of the field.
Yeah, see, this is interesting. Washington State elects to play at this, it's where the students are. It's where the loud folks are. It's where all those crazies are down in the left-hand side of the end zone. And that's where they want to play. I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Yeah, the Husky band was at the other end where Washington was going. They'll try it again.
That's right.
Now it's Washington starting on defense, and Washington State will be on offense. The 1996 Apple Cup went overtime as well, and it was on Fox Sports Net. Washington won 31-24 here in Pullman, and that was a Ryan Leaf pass. I'm sorry, a pass to Jerome Pathon for the winning touchdown.
Oh, good. Brock Heward? Was that a Brock Heward
Yes.
throw? Yeah.
But it was a marvelous comeback by Washington State. They were down by 24 points and then came back and tied it.
Jerome Pathon still playing up in the NFL. What a great player. Okay, this is what's happened. Both scoring drives under Matt Kegel have been negative yards, and they got to take a timeout.
You want to know something?
They got to take a timeout before they even snap the ball, Steve.
Bieneman called the timeout because I think he realized there were too many players in the field. They had the wides, and Bieneman started tapping guys on the backside, counting.
Mike
So he
Price.
said, Kegel, timeout.
Mike Price, you know what? He wants to go throw one of those apples that was in his office yesterday. He'd throw it about 1.5 miles right now. I mean, you can't do that. You got to get lined up, right? You got to get the right personnel on the field.
They have to have some positive yardage situations to hold on to their number 3 ranking in the nation, number 3 in the BCS.
Steve, this is, you get into OT, this is where you really want to be patient as a player. You want to slow things down. Right now, Washington's not lined up. I don't think they're lined up exactly where they want to be. Bobby Houck, the defensive back coach, waving his arms down on the sideline because they don't have everyone covered up. No one's on Sammy Moore down at the bottom of in the slot right here.
They've got a flip to Jerome Riley, and he is met and just thrown to the ground by Greg Carruthers.
How about that negative play again for Washington State? Got to play aggressive. Got to play down the field. You can't play horizontal.
Washington State had a big Mike Bush, 6'6", on a small defensive back, Nate Robinson, at 5'9".
Yeah.
And it was single coverage.
They've had him single covered.
Now it's DeVar Darling, 6'3", on 5'9" Robinson, but they've rolled the safety over to help.
Yeah.
3 to the left. Kegel wants to go left, and it's caught by Bush. And Bush is not silly at the 20-yard line, but at least they get 7 back. It'll be 3rd and 5.
You know what Bush did so well there, Steve? Once he caught the ball, he got up the field. Watch him sit down and catch the ball, and then when he catches it, watch what he does. He knifes back up between defenders, and even though he gets hammered by Carruthers, who's a linebacker in a DB's number, he lunges ahead and gains some positive yards. So you got 3rd and 5. They haven't heard the chains click much here.
They bring in the rush end Kelly, and here he comes from the left side. Kegel throws and completes the pass to the 15-yard line. It's 4th down and inches. Wow. How tough can it be?
It's tough, let me tell you. Washington's defense has been playing tough. They've been playing tough ever since. Well, they've been playing tough since about the second quarter. Second half, they played really well.
So this field goal will come from 32 yards out by Drew Dunning to try and take the lead in the second overtime. Got it. It is 26-23. Cougars with the lead. Now it's Cody Pickett's turn.
Pretty darn interesting right now.
I'll say, with so much on the line. BCS, Rose Bowl. This fall, get your NFL fix a day earlier with the NFL Show with Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, and comedian Tommy Davidson. They have a lot of fun on that show. It will come up next for most of you after our ball game. Tomorrow, you will see it at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Those in the Pacific Northwest region on Fox Sports Northwest, you will have a chance to see a post-game coverage of this Apple Cup. Now Washington's turn.
Spread them out. 3 wides up top, 2 on the bottom.
Williams in the slot, Rams left side. They're throwing it to Reggie. Incomplete. Trufant again. Fine coverage.
You know what I think I would do if I was Washington? The next time I ran 5 wides, I'd run a quarterback draw. Now, not on this play coming up, but maybe in a play or two, if I got a first down, I'd run 5 wides, and because they're so spread out on defense right now, Steve, and Cody Pickett can run now. He can run, and those are huge numbers he's putting up.
He has thrown the football 53 times. Williams left, again defended by Trufant. Pickett back, fires, complete, 16-yard line. They'll need 1 more for a first down. It was Patrick Reddick on the catch.
Hey, Steve, you know, Washington State plays so good. Look at this umbrella-like coverage, okay? When the play starts, watch, those safeties in those corners, they all kind of sit, and it's all read and react. Look at this. They all kind of break on the ball right now. And Reddick just did a nice job sitting in over the top. Let the play develop. He wasn't overly, he didn't try to make too much happen, and he gives them a good chance to convert it on 3rd down with 3rd and 1. Nice playing.
Well, the Pac-10 conference looks like this as Washington State unbeaten 6-0 in the conference for the first time since 1930. That's 72 years. But on their tail is USC playing absolutely fabulous football. They are 9-2. Their only loss was here at Washington State in a game the Trojans should have won. A missed extra point, a missed field goal in overtime, and that was the Trojans' only loss this year in conference play.
Well, Steven, you said it. You got SC and you have Washington State. You know, Washington State, if they don't get by this game tonight, they might have difficulty in 2 weeks at UCLA if Jason Gesser's hurt now, because the way they've played some offense tonight with Matt Kegel, all things being equal, Matt Kegel's not Jason Gesser. And
Gesser, again, if you've just joined us, hurt his right leg. And Kegel, his replacement, has been anything but effective.
And then you have SC, who's playing so well, as you said. I mean, you liken them to the California Angels towards the end of the season.
Anaheim Angels, the world champion Anaheim Angels, buddy.
Hey, buddy, I'm still, I know.
You might see that quarterback draw here.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Pickett's going to throw over the middle. Now he juggles. Now he gets rid of it. Throws. It is caught. Touchdown. But 2 flags go down. He threw the pass. It hit off of a defender, came back to it, and Pickett is going to have to see this one come back. He caught his own pass. He's caught his own forward pass. Wow.
Look at this. Pickett. Look, the ball goes in the air. That would be a pass or a fumble?
That's a pass. His arm is going forward.
Really?
If the arm's going forward, it is a pass.
But it never was. This is one of these when you need the NFL flat. His arm was. Okay, I'm with you. But it was a fumble. But you're saying it was a pass.
The quarterback made 2 forward passes. By rule, that is an illegal forward pass against the offense. 5 yards from the spot of the foul. Loss a down. It'll be 4th down.
So it is John Anderson time.
5-yard penalty. Okay. 5-yard penalty from the spot. Loss it down. You couldn't ask for a worse scenario. You couldn't ask. Now, this is a guy who missed his first 3. Then he missed one, got roughing the kicker, and then he's made the last 3.
46 yards out.
He's got the range.
No wind. He hits it long enough.
Got it.
It is good. And we will go to a third overtime here in the Palouse. Anderson knew the entire story. A miss, and the Cougars are Pac-10 champions.
Not a lot of people leaving. Not a lot of foot. That's nails right there. Johnny Anderson coming back and really redeeming himself and really, you know, Steve, that's impressive for a young guy. And you know, he and Rick Neuhaus will have a great relationship, and it's all about finishing strong. And John Anderson's lived up to that Husky mantra, finish strong, and he's been doing his part tonight.
He finished strong. He missed his first 3. He's made the last 4 field goals.
Man.
Washington State has their choice. They pick defense. Washington has decided to play at that end of the field.
We keep on going here in Pullman. We'll be right back. Washington State needs to win to nail down the Pac-10 title. Here's that wild play where his arm was going forward.
What's up with that? You know, that I know Gordon Reed said he's throwing the ball, but it looked like it slipped out of his hand, and then it kind of, you know, it's like the old Tom Brady New England Patriots versus the Oakland Raiders last year in snowy Foxborough, and oh man, that's good football. But John Anderson stepped up when he had to and nailed it.
So Washington will get it first in the third overtime. Pickett, play action pass, all kinds of time. Now it arose. He scrambles, and he will be sacked at the 33. How about the defensive coverage by the secondary, Rams?
How about the hits being put on Cody Pickett by Isaac Brown, number 9, and number 51, Will Durning. And Pickett, he had
time though.
I know, but you're right, Steve. Great coverage down the field. Durning and Brown, though, just Rob Akey over there saying nice job, and they should. That's phenomenal.
Arnold, Reddick to the left, Williams to the right, and Trufant is on him.
And they're going to try and get a double on Reggie Williams down below, so you probably want to work up top.
Pickett, deep, incomplete. Third down. And again, in the third overtime, the teams must, if they get into the end zone for the touchdown, they must go for a 2-point conversion. The first team leading after the completed round wins. That last sack by Washington State was their 48th, and that ties the school record with 1 game to go.
We're going to back in the sound. We haven't had an overtime game for like, what, 2 years? This is fun.
Love it.
Okay, 3rd and 17. You got to pick up a portion of it. You can't get it all. You got to get half of it. You got to get 8, 9, 10 yards. Give John Anderson a legitimate shot at a field goal.
Pickett going deep for Reggie Williams, and it is incomplete.
Wow.
He really threw it away, because if he throws that ball for Reggie with 2, 3 red jerseys on him, it gets picked off. Then you're looking at Drew Dunning for a chance to win it. But this will be a long field goal.
Yes, it will. This is going to be 49-yarder?
Yep.
49-yarder. This is going to have to be this is what, like a 2-iron?
Well, he has
about 210 yards.
He's made 6 from
or
50
thereabouts
plus in his career, and he hammers this one long enough, and it is good from 49. Now it's the Cougars' turn.
John Anderson has just showed what, you know, he's got a little ice running through those veins, man. I'm telling you what, that is a cool customer that comes in and just hammers a 49-yarder. Hammers it. Come on. What up with that? That's what he just said. Man, Johnny A, bring it. Watch him. He knew he had it right when he hit it. Knew he had it.
You know, both of these coaches have to be proud of the way their teams have fought throughout this game.
Oh, you couldn't be anything but proud of all these guys.
Now Kegel's turn. In for the injured Jason Gesser. And he will throw it. And it is intercepted. Game over. Is that an incompletion? They're calling it an incompletion.
I thought he had it. I thought Kai Ellis had it, Steve, and had possession. I thought he had it and had possession.
Let's see if it touched the turf.
Here comes Gordon Reese. Hold on. If he made a pick and then it was a fumble.
The linesman came flying in saying incomplete, incomplete.
Wow. You know, you got to back up all the players. You got to get all the players away from the refs.
Ruling on the field is it was a backward pass. Washington recovered that backward pass, and the game is over.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not sure it was a backwards pass. I thought it was an interception.
Well, let's see it again.
And then a fumble. That's what I thought.
You hate to see officials decide.
You know, it might have been a backwards pass. This isn't the angle we want, but watch Kai Ellis. He comes down on a hard slant. He knocks the ball up in the air. It looks to me as though he... oh, no, he didn't recover it. The ball hit the ground.
Yeah.
But then he got the ball. Okay, so you know what, Steve? Wow. Kai Ellis with the play of the game. What a great play.
Washington with a stunning upset in Pullman.
Huge.
29-26, the Huskies beat the Cougars with Jason Gesser out.
We'll have a good career. We'll have a good career at the next level. Yeah. Good luck.
Washington beats the #3 team in the nation 29-26 in 3 overtimes.
3 overtimes. Well, now if you're Washington State, Steve, you got to go down to UCLA in 2 weeks. You got to win. You got to win the conference championship and play in the Rose Bowl, because the BCS is not an option now. Kai Ellis was the one that made the play. He knocked the ball up on what the officials ruled to be a lateral. So that's a live ball, okay? It's a live ball. Kai Ellis also recovers the ball. Watch, he's on a hard slant inside. Bam, he knocks the ball up in the air. Big Kai Ellis brings it down. I thought he picked it off, but the ball hit the ground, but then he was heady enough to recover the ball, knowing it was a live ball, Steve. Huskies win.
Let's go down to Rich Walls.
Well, how proud are you of this ball club, right? You got to be very proud.
You know, we've been through a lot. Most of it our own fault. I blame myself. I did a bad job of coaching. But I got guys that keep coming to work and keep telling me, Coach, we'll pick you up. And anytime you got guys like that, you got to be proud of them.
Rick, you told us yesterday the one thing you wanted your quarterback to do better was manage a football game. He didn't do it against UCLA. He did it against Oregon State and Oregon. Tonight was a pretty good test, and I think he passed it with flying colors.
Well, we shot ourselves in the foot a number of times. I think this game, didn't need to be this climatic. But the bottom line is, we tip our hat to the Cougars. We wish them well in their last game. We're thrilled at the Apple Cup win. We've been fortunate in this game.
There was a point in the game where John Anderson had missed a couple and was hit. There was an opportunity, and many people in this place thought you would go for it on 4th down. You put Anderson back in, and that really paid off. You got to be proud of that youngster.
I'm very proud of John. He's been our go-to guy since he was a freshman. We watched a video of our seniors last night. He was making a 56-yarder, and he came through in flying colors when we needed him most today.
Very big win. Good luck in the postseason.
Yeah, we get to go, don't we? All right, man. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Rick. Fizz, let's head back to you.
This win guarantees a bowl trip and a 26th straight 500 or better season for the University of Washington. We'll be right back.
Michelin designed the cross-terrain SUV tires specifically for SUVs.
Ellis comes, he crashes down, he gets his hand up in the air, he makes a heads-up play, and the Huskies walk away with a victory. Right there, you see Kai Ellis made the entire play. He knocked the ball down, he recovered the fumble. You know, and I tell you, it's nice to have instant replay at the NFL, but I'm not convinced it's the best thing because they don't sort it out as well as you'd like them to.
No, but Washington State, with just their second loss of the season, the first was against Ohio State, and then a loss tonight against the rivals, the Washington Huskies. For Tom Ramsey, I'm Steve Fizziak. A great crew tonight here in the Pacific Northwest representing Fox Sports Net, and we are delighted that you were here for this game as Washington beats Washington State 29-26 in 3 overtimes. Be sure to tune in next Friday for a special edition of College Football Saturday presented by Kyocera. At 3 o'clock Eastern, it's Pac-10 action with Arizona taking on Arizona State. Then on Saturday at 2:30 Eastern, we wrap up our college football season on Fox Sports Net with the number 4 team in the nation, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on Oklahoma State. If you remember last year, it was the Cowboys that shocked the Sooners. Check your local listings for games and times in your area. Coming up next for most of you, it's the NFL show. For those of you in the Northwest, the Apple Cup postgame special is next. For Tom Ramsey and Rich Waltz, this is Steve Fizziak. In a marvelous game, the 95th meeting between Washington and Washington State. It's the Huskies in 3 overtimes, 29-26. College Football Saturday has been a presentation of Fox Sports Net.
This is your Northwest Sports Report.
This is why Rivalry Week is the best week of the college football season. Upsets happen often in dramatic fashion. The Huskies fans celebrate in Pullman their 5th straight win over Washington State in the Apple Cup. Rick Neuheisel has never lost to the Cougs in his 4 meetings. That means his seniors have never lost to Wazoo. No roses yet for the Cougs. They'll have to wait 2 more weeks for another chance. Hello, everybody. Brad Adam with you here for your Northwest Sports Report. Apple Cup post-game edition, as if you couldn't tell by the bowl of apples on the set. The game certainly lived up to the hype. I'd certainly say that. An epic 4-hour, 3 overtime war out there in Pullman. John Anderson ties the Pac-10 record with 5 field goals, including the game winner in that 3rd overtime. But let's go right back out to Martin Stadium. You don't want to hear me talk about it. Let's go to the Palouse, join our Bill Wixie. I tell you what, Bill, I mean, where did we start with this one? This game had everything. We all had to rewrite our scripts because Wazoo had this game won, it seemed.
Hey, Brad, I'll tell you what, just an unbelievable game. This was supposed to be Coronation Day. Bill Wixie, along with Tom Ramsey, here at Martin Stadium. And what we have seen tonight, Tom, was something I don't think many Cougar fans expected to see. The Cougars, you know, with all the national rankings on the line and with the Pac-10 championship and a possible berth to the Rose Bowl, they had it all within their grasp, and they watched in the 4th quarter and in overtime. They just watched it slip away.
Bill, they watched it slip away when Jason Gesser got hurt. And I think the moment he went out of the game, all of a sudden Matt Kegel came in, and the first 2 scoring drives that Matt led them on, they were for negative yardage. And they get the field goal, and then they go into OT, and Drew Dunning is able to knock one through. But well, right now you say that was a heck of a game, though. Anytime a game goes 3 overtimes, you know, both teams battled in traditional Apple Cup fashion. I mean, it comes down to the wire, and you know, I tell you, when you have these rival games, throw everything out the window because it's played with so much emotion and so much courage. I enjoyed working the game tonight. I thought it was a great game.
One of the most courageous players you will ever meet, Jason Gesser, the quarterback for the Washington State Cougars, suffered a fibula injury in the 4th quarter, did not return to the ball game. Rich Waltz now with an update on Gesser's status.
Certainly this had to be the longest 10 minutes in Jason Gesser's life in terms of football injury. He left with a 10-minute lead and had to watch the rest of it on the sidelines. The indications from the training and the medical staff at Washington State is a possible fractured fibula. Now, 2 years ago, Gesser broke that right leg, but he broke the tibia. They wanted to see if he could manage the pain and possibly get back into the football game once they looked at the fibula and thought it was injured. He walked, he couldn't go on, They've iced it. They are x-raying right now. Obviously, we will try to get you any word. Now, the training staff at Washington State told us this. If, in fact, it is fractured, it's a 4 to 6 week thing, which means this. No UCLA, but possible Rose Bowl. Now, remember that. The Rose Bowl is still at stake. If Washington State goes down and beats UCLA, they are still in the Rose Bowl. But it sounds like, at least initially sounds like, they'll have to do it with Matt Kegel. Now, the injury to Gesser happened late in that fourth quarter. The medical staff thought they were going to take him in to be x-rayed right away. Gesser asked so he could stay on the sideline and watch the final minutes of what he thought was going to be his first and only Apple Cup win. What it turned into, though, was a 3-overtime Husky dramatic win, and Jason Gesser right now getting x-rayed. Let's head back to you, Bill.
Rich, thank you very much. Rich, in the midst of the Husky faithful down there on the field, and they are still going nuts at Martin Stadium here in Pullman. Simple question for you, Tom. Can the Cougars go down to UCLA with the Rose Bowl on the line next week, in the Rose Bowl, ironically, and beat UCLA without Jason Gesser?
Well, I think they can, Bill, and I'll tell you why. I think it's going to be a great game. And the reason I say I think they can, I think any team in the Pac-10 is capable of beating any other team in the Pac-10. Matt Kegel has experience. Now, he's going to have to pull from his last year experience and the year before that experience, but he's going to have some time to go in and to have some practice time. And I think this also. I think the great motivator is the Rose Bowl, and I think essentially you get a warm-up in the Rose Bowl. And it's not a warm-up playing UCLA, but you get a chance to play in the Rose Bowl before the big Rose Bowl, and I think that will serve as a great motivator. Mike Price and his staff of coaches, you know, they have a lot of things to be proud about, and I'm sure that's what they're going to talk about this week is, hey guys, we have played well all season long. You played a 3-overtime game. You fought as hard as you could, and it comes down to a guy nailing a 49-yard kick for the victory. That's pretty special, but you know, you got to be proud. Both teams got to be proud.
Let's take a look at how it shaped up in the fourth quarter. Everything changed in this ball game. It seemed like the Washington State Cougars were on their way to a victory if they could just hang on. But then everything went haywire in the fourth. Let's take a look at the highlights from tonight's ball game. In the fourth quarter, Jason Gesser with a 17-10 lead, 11:45 to play. He hits Troy Veneman, the tight end, on a third down play and moves the chains. And then Gesser getting his groove on, under pressure, and a great grab by Mike Bush in the middle of the field, and the Huskies seem to leave the middle of the field open for him tonight.
You know, and Veneman did such a great job in underneath coverage tonight. I was really impressed. And while Gesser was in the game, what he's able to do is, this is the injury, you know, right there. I couldn't tell if it was his ankle. I couldn't tell if it was his knee. And I knew right away, though, he was hurt, Bill, and that was a severe blow. And right here, you can tell he tried to walk on it. And then he just says, no, you know what? This is not good. It came out. On comes Matt Kegel. And, you know, you see.
And he immediately coughs up the football.
Kai Ellis was all of a sudden turned his game up a couple notches.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because Kai Ellis originally committed to go to Washington State and ended up a Husky. And then the Huskies get the ball back. And Cody Pickett scrambling for his life. And they call it intentional grounding. And so to add insult to injury, the Huskies are way, way back in their own end zone.
Yeah, this is a flash.
Yeah, Derek McLaughlin.
This is a Garo Yepremian issue here, and something. I mean, but again, now Kegel, they get the ball at the 1.5-yard line. Matt Kegel goes -4 yards. They don't get in the end zone here. The Husky defense stymies them. Drew Dunning has to come on and kick a field goal, and that, I thought, was a big turning point in the game, because when the Huskies held them to 3 points, that was huge.
Absolutely. Washington State takes a 20-10 lead. But here come the Huskies. They're not done yet with time running out in the fourth quarter. Cody Pickett airs it out for Reggie Williams. What a huge game he had tonight. 12 catches, 169 yards. And that grab right there.
Well, this is great defense by Marcus Trufant, but it's even a better catch by Reggie Williams. And, you know, the thing about this drive, it took all of about 30 seconds here, Bill, and they were able to get in the end zone. They went no huddle the entire way. Pickett to Paul Arnold for the score. Now it's a one-score game, but there's still 3:13 left on the clock. They drive the ball deep, which I thought was a great deal. Nate Robinson comes up with the play of the game, and comes up with a big pick, and they're trying to get that jump ball to Mike Bush.
Huskies in business again, deep in Cougar territory, and then Williams to the 10-yard line. So the Huskies in business with a 1st and goal.
And I like that they ran the ball here. I like that they took a little more time off the clock. They showed great patience in the last minute of play, and I like here that they end up taking a shot. That ball gets knocked down. Fred Shavy's doing a nice job off the edge, and then they go for it all. Paul Arnold lined up in the slot. He runs that little fade.
Could have been the ball game.
Could have been the game. Bohannon drilled it. He knocked it out.